I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Matthias, and we has chosen our subject as the Rubik's Cube. We've chosen this because we thought it would be very interesting to learn more about. And you guys think maybe it's maybe not more than a 3D puzzle with a dimension, but behind all of that, there's actually a lot of mysteries and knowledge. We did not know a lot about this cube when we decided to use it as our subject. It seemed to us as an interesting thing to work with and getting to know a lot more about it.
Our aim with this project was that we wanted to find out if there are connections between brain and Rubik's Cube. So we want to talk about a few subjects that you also will be able to read about later. The subjects are the history of the Rubik's Cube. We want to talk about how it works and differences between a 3x3 cube and a 4x4. And then we also have some experiments.
Everybody knows the famous Rubik's Cube, but not very many knows why it was invented and what it actually was built for. In 1974, the inventor of the Rubik's Cube, Rubik, was a professor that worked at the Academy of Applied Arts and Craft. He wanted to make a teaching tool to his students, so he came up with the idea to make a 3D combination puzzle to help them understand 3D mechanism. But Erna did not realize that he had created a puzzle until he scrambled it and solved it again. The cube, he first called the cube for the magic cube because he began to sell the cube and he hoped it could sell easily and fast. But in 1980, they changed the name to Rubik's Cube after this inventor. The cube was a sensation and was sold all over the world, and in 2009 an updated version of the cube called the Speed Cube was this new improved cube became the most selling puzzle all over the world with 350 million cubes sold. Many of you guys have maybe things, if you can solve a cube like this, does it make you smarter? No, it will not make you smarter in that way. So it will not help you to solving a math equation which you were not able to solve before you were able to put the cube together. However, it does something with your brain. If you learn how to solve this cube, your brain will think more logically. You will look different at other things, and you have easier to be more creative. Example, Benjamin here, when he could solve this cube, he found out by himself that he looked different at this cube, and he found out to solve it easier and faster by himself. So the only way this cube can make you smarter is that you look different at things like this cube here.
So how does this Rubik's Cube work? Well, it's very complex, and it has about 34 quintillion different combinations. This is possible because of the amazing way it's designed. We asked a few people to see and ask them how they thought it was possible. And some of them thought there was some kind of strings inside, but most people thought there is a sphere inside. That's not completely wrong, but it's not right either. There is 26 different pieces to a Rubik's Cube. 3 kind of pieces. There's corner pieces, edge pieces, and middle pieces. The corner pieces look exactly the same, just without the sticker. It's the same with the edge pieces and also the middle pieces. Because they are the same, they are able to switch places without any changes to the core. The core is sticks holding the middle pieces in the same places. So, is there a difference between the 4x4 cube and the 3x3 cube? There are some differences between the 3x3 Rubik's Cube and the 4x4 Rubik's Cube, as it's called. The biggest difference is probably the core. 4x4 core actually has a sphere with grooves to hold the middle pieces in place. The other differences is probably how when you solve it, there are more algorithms, but in the end, the 4x4 Rubik's Cube does look very much like the 3x3.
We also made some experiments with the Rubik's Cube. We made 3 experiments, and in our first experiment we asked 5 people to solve one side of this cube. We had a timer so we could see how long it took them to solve one side. And we could see some people it's more easier to solve it because they can think more logically and see how it works. Because to solve one side of this cube is only logic. So some people only used 42 seconds and others used 1,740 seconds. We were surprised that there was a so big difference between the people who solved the cube and we found the average time together as 780 seconds. In our second experiment, Benjamin and I tried to solve the Rubik's Cube in different situations and places. We would try to solve the cube in a sauna, in a cold room, when we have eaten chili, and when we go to bed and wake up. And as you can see over in this graph here, we were in a sauna, and it's not actually the same because our bodies react differently at the things. Benjamin's body is actually the same as if she solved it in a normal room. But my body reacts a lot more because I used 138 seconds to solve it in a sauna. So in this experiment we find out that it's about the body, how it reacts in the different situations, and not everybody, all bodies react at the same.
So in our third experiment, we wanted to know if when you have learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube, you just do it by reflexes, or if you actually have to think and use your brain. So we thought, what better way to do that than when the brain is most tired? When you wake up and when you go to just before you go to sleep. So we solved it in the morning and evening, this graph right here shows our time in the morning and in the evening. In the morning, I am a little faster than Matthias, and in the evening, Matthias is a little faster than me. But we can see that in the evening, we are both remarkably better than in the morning. It's closer to our average time, which is these times here. Matthias' average time is 74 seconds, and mine is 69 seconds. But that it's because it's slower in the morning. It tells us that that it's not just reflexes, that we also use the brain. Our conclusion to all of this is that we found out that all the results depend on which kind of person you are. Some people think very logically, so they understand and see things that people who are not very logical can see. Other people get affected depending on in which circumstances and climates and time of the day they're in. And everything just depends on which kind of person you are. We have a few, if you could be, no. We would like to thank a few people, my parents and my sister.
And we would like to thank my parents and the test persons we used. You know who you are.
We would like to thank Magnus and all and Christian for giving us a chili so we could see how fast we could solve it. And we would also thank Magnus for introducing us to the Rubik's Cube so we could have this subject.